Okay, now we're going to take a look at what it means to show work. Showing work in a science class is going to be extremely important to us. And so what I've got here is I've got a screen of a typical question that you would encounter. So in this case, it says Cassandra drives 45,000 meters from Horizon to ASU at a velocity of 35 meters per second. How long did it take her to get there? If this were a homework problem, then what I want you to do is I want you to list the variables, the information that you're given, write down the equation or type the equation, and then last but not least, I want you to do the calculation. So, for example, if this were a homework problem, let's take a look at this, and the very first thing that we encounter is the 45,000 meters, and hopefully you realize that the meters indicates that it's a distance or a displacement. So I'm going to put D equals 45,000 meters. Whoops, excuse me. And then from Horizon to ASU at a velocity of 35 meters per second. So since that's my velocity, I'm going to give that as a V equals 35 meters per second. And it says, how long did it take her to get there? So T equals, and I got a question mark. Now, the next thing we need to do is pick an equation. And the equation that you're going to be using is velocity equals distance divided by time. And then last but not least, let's put in the numbers. So the number that for the velocity is 35. Now in this, I don't care if you don't put in the unit because I don't want you to get confused by the letters from the units. So equals the distance, which is 45,000 divided by t. And now to finish this off, we need to solve for time. And my time is I multiply both sides by t, divide both sides by 35, and that gives me 1,286. Now this is going to be a place where I do want your unit. And the unit for time is going to be a second, and this would be done. Okay, this problem would be done, and I would submit it. But for the test, you have a 60-minute time limit. Only for the test, the only part that I want you to do for the test part is going to be the what I'm just identifying as red right here. You will run out of time if you list all the variables, if you write down the equation. All I want is this highlighted. So this whole section up here, whoops, let me go up here. This whole section would be deleted. This would be a satisfactory answer. The most important line on this whole problem is going to be that one. On a test, I'm going to be looking at, did you substitute the numbers in the appropriate space for the equation? If your math is wrong, then you'll only lose 1 point. You'll get the rest of them. So this underlined part is hugely important. So make sure you understand the difference between showing work on a test and a homework. But showing work is hugely important.